It's quite funny how much Blizzard does to ruin their own reputation. Not limited to recent, issues. They've always been fraught with controversies, but there was a simple time when the biggest failure to Blizzard was not noticing duplication bugs that were putting some of the most insane and unbalanced items into the trading economy. I am trying to make unique, pun intended, videos on Diablo 2, which is hard. Also, I'm not trying that hard, but on this occasion I wanted to bring up some of the items that you will not be seeing in Diablo 2 Resurrected. They are lost to time, and for good reason. Now, considering that these items technically no longer exist, I will have no way to demonstrate anything about them. They are unobtainable after all, but amazingly, some of these items could actually still exist somewhere in the world. Diablo 2 saw numerous balance changes. Mechanics changed, rune words were added to ruin the mechanics, we've been over this. But sometimes the items they experimented with were too good. They flew too close to the sun. I've been doing a little research on this topic, and in general, I'm going to have to assume that everything I'm spouting here today is factual, and that these items truly did exist, which indicates that some crazy shit used to go down. Let's start with some items that definitely existed, but were changed as time went on. To kick off, here's what would probably be the best belt in the game. Sigurd's Stealth Vampire Fang belt was an item that possessed minor strengths, things you don't get out of bed for, like +1 to all skills, plus 10% attack speed, piercing attack, plus 20% all res, damage reduced by 20%, and what the actual... And this is one of those nifty items that, despite no longer dropping, being nerfed intentionally by Blizzard, turning the Vampire Fang belt into a different unique item altogether, is still in existence. Some lucky schmuck has this on Battle.net. Well, maybe. The way that the D2 online system functions, the owners of any of these items would have to still be logging in fairly regularly, which, considering that this dropped over 15 years ago, is kinda nuts. Moving away from an item that every melee class would have used, let's talk about Valkyrie Wing, a helmet that is nowadays geared towards Amazons. Back in 1.08 though, this thing had it had that. Can you imagine the possibilities of this item? Scratch away the defense boost, that's worthless. That leaves us with 30% run walk, attack speed, cast rate, and hit recovery. Put this on an Enigma wearing barbarian. Instantaneously, it's gone, so it doesn't matter. Before getting into almost hacked item levels of gear, I'll post the stats of a few more uniques that got changed. These aren't that interesting, but they're in several cases better than their new counterparts, like High Lord's Wrath, improved run speed instead of attack speed, Only in one instance would any of these items be considered worse initially, with Azure Wrath Crystal Sword, which would go on to be Azure Wrath Phase Blade, with far more competitive stats once it was changed. This is one of those underwhelming uniques that people skipped in favor of rare items. Speaking of rare items, there were a few notorious ones back in the day that may or may not exist anymore. Armageddon Fletch was a rare amulet from the pre-LOD D2 days, and yeah, it speaks for itself. I've seen people craft thousands of amulets that are far worse than this one. Let's have a brief rundown for newer players, or just those who like to chat about which stats are better than which. But having an item that quintuples down on its strengths, firstly resistance, but also cast rate, skills, strength, and then both health and mana, is a perfect item. Put something of this caliber in every slot on your character, and you could ass roll every boss back to the Stone Age. Doesn't exist, won't be getting it, damn. Imp Shanks, rare boots that are just like Armageddon Fletch in terms of being, overly everything. Items are not going to be so juicy in D2R, I'm afraid. We're going to be stuck with, War Traveler Battle Boots. Great item. Okay, but this stuff was intended to exist. They were real. But what about the stuff that Blizzard never wanted players to have? Things that were so disastrously strong that they single-handedly would have broken the balance of the game. All of the ones in this section are bugged. They were not put onto the drop tables, but those crafty 2001-ish Diablo 2 players found a way to dupe items from closed games. So people did run around with these for a time, and it's actually possible they still exist in some capacity. But these are locked behind 8 walls of, you're not getting this, so understand that they are very rare. If you've got children, I'd shelter them from some of these beasts. Starting with the White Gloves. This item is the lowest rarity. It has 100% increased attack speed, 100% faster hit recovery. It adds 63 to 127 damage, 15% life stolen per hit, plus 92 dexterity and vitality, and, just a paltry 100 to resistance on gloves. The White Gloves totally do not exist anymore. How about a charm? Everyone likes a good charm, such as the Hellfire Torch, famously. These are sick, or the Annihilus. Pretty damn amazing. Or the Hex Charm. The Hex Charm gives plus 90, to strength, dexterity, and vitality. So if that's not dump your drawers levels of excuse me, then maybe you'd be interested in the Oculus. But wait, if you saw my top 10 bad Diablo 2 uniques video, you might ask me, isn't the Oculus, in your brainless opinion, apparently the 9th worst item in the game? Well, yes, I did say that, but I didn't mean the Oculus swirling crystal. I'm talking about the Oculus Ring, which is just an Oculus shoved into a ring slot, which means you could wear 2 of them for almost an unbelievable amount of energy. Well, the downside is it's still crap garbage for hardcore characters, but who cares? Your ring slots are going to give you like +6 to skills and like +5 million to everything else. But we gotta keep going up. You want a ring that outperformed the double Oculus Ring idea? How about I drop this one on you? It's called the White Ring. It's an item that breaks all conventions because unlike gloves, white rings can't even exist. So it's a dream. But it's a beautiful dream we can admire together. You know, we're starting with 100% faster run walk, stupid as hell. 100% increased attack speed, no comment. More of that crazy damage stat that just compounds into itself, crazy. 20% life stolen per hit. And then finally, you know, just a real swell stat, something that just isn't just God mode, certainly. Plus 95% all absorb, which means you don't just resist elemental damage, you get health from taking it. So there you have it. Diablo 2 Resurrected isn't the whole game, since they're not going to be resurrecting any of these items. So you get complaining on Twitter or something, whatever you like to complain on. For me, I like to complain on YouTube, so if you like my complaining, check out my other content. I promise I have non-Diablo 2 related stuff, and more of that is going to be coming out. So please, if you enjoy me, you know, that'll be there. But more of this to come surely if you enjoy Diablo 2, I guess. So enjoy, once again. This have be Seer, the slow-witted internet guy, and I hope you have a good day, bucko.